All right, we're here in the Niner locker room with Taybor Pepper, Niners long snapper, and the dominant force on Twitter in the room. Is there anybody approaching you? Is there anybody who's coming up from behind that you got to keep an eye on? That,
on the team?
Yeah, on the team.
I don't think so.
You're comfortably ahead.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident.
What'd you think of this weekend in the NFL? First of all, how'd you spend your open Sunday?
Open Sunday, I went to a new sushi place. That was
Nice.
cool. So I got some sushi and then tuned into Sunday Night Football. I popped into a few games, but I don't have the Sunday ticket or whatever. So whatever was on TV, I think I tuned out of the Dolphins game pretty quick.
Yeah.
Getting out of hand rather quickly. But I popped around. I was checking on Twitter, but ultimately I wanted to watch a little bit of football, but I was just kind of trying to chill a little bit too.
Are you a fan of football? I mean, some guys are good at football, but they're not fans, right? Are you a fan?
Growing up, I was not a fan of football, and this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but I didn't really know how the divisions and conferences worked until my second year in the league. When I was in Miami, I leaned over to my kicker. I was like, why do we play the Jets twice a year and the Patriots? And he's like, are you kidding me? He thought I was joking.
Right.
And so I figured it out quickly, but now myself and I got my wife naming every team in every conference and every division, and
nice.
We got it down pat. I love watching football now. The more I play it, the more I love it.
When you see a team go for 70? What are you thinking? I mean,
I think at that point they're just trying stuff out and seeing what sticks. McDaniel was like wanting good karma or whatever, not going for the record, but I feel like if you're that close, why not? But whatever, his prerogative. I just thought it was funny.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a team with that much speed.
It's pretty wild.
Akane, Mostert. I mean, they didn't even have Waddle yesterday, and they still went for 70.
I think I saw somebody pulled up a tweet in one of our meetings of the top 5 speeds recorded during that game, and it was all Dolphins players.
Right,
Some of them twice.
If I look up at the lockers here, you're in the neighborhood with the rookie D Winters. You got Ross, yourself. You got a little break here, and then it's Purdy, Greenlaw, Hufanga. It's a pretty good little corner of the locker room you chose here.
I used to be in that empty spot next to Bosa. Do you remember who was here?
It was Robbie.
Yeah. So I when we traded for Zane, I knew there was some real estate open, and I called Robbie, and we were just talking about it, and he gave me his blessing, so I took over the spot. Is there any prime real estate?
Is there any chance that you would go to Kyle and say, Bosa's got 2 lockers. How come I don't have 2 lockers?
No, not I. He kind of did something this summer pretty special, so I think he appreciates that I probably left. Although when he did come back, he was like, hey, Taybor, why'd you leave? Yeah. I was like, there's a mass of reporters every time the media comes in here, so I needed a little bit of space.
Yeah, but now you're next to Brock, but he goes to the podium most of the time, so you don't have to deal with the crowds.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on the way he handled all the blitzes. The Giants brought an array of blitzes.
When I got home that night,
it was amazing to watch.
I saw it was 85% of the snaps they blitzed?
Right,
and it was
and a bunch of exotics, too.
Yeah, it was the highest rate in however many years since they've been tracking it, and that's just amazing the way. And then you see all the clips on Twitter, the way he's able to drop back and kind of angled, not messing up his steps or his vision or whatever. It's just super special to see him do that.
Yeah, give me your thoughts on just him. I mean, so many people want to know about him because obviously he's a starting quarterback, and he's kind of, for you guys, you know him. For us in the media now, locally, we know him, but still nationally, you can kind of get the idea when you hear these people commenting. It's like, dude, you guys don't know who this guy is, and they're questioning him still. For those who don't believe in what he's done thus far, what would you say to not counter it, but just to add to it?
I think one of my favorite memories of Brock was, I think we were 2 weeks into training camp last year, and the specialists kind of get out of different meetings at different times as opposed to some of the other positions, and the quarterbacks were all in their respective lockers. And I remember Brock was sitting in his chair right here, and I don't even think he was looking at anything. I think he was just kind of staring, and I look at him and I was like, it's a lot, isn't it? And he was like, dude, you have no clue. And then to fast forward to when he took over during that Dolphins game, to see how much, in that amount of time, how much progress, where it seemed like his head was spinning a little bit, a rookie with the NFL playbook, and he got it down pat that fast and took us to the NFC Championship, man. It's like, that's all I needed to know and all I needed to see. It's pretty incredible.
When you see Jake 9 for 9, do you take pride in that stat?
Yeah, man. I when I go out to snap, for me, it's like I want to give him a good ball. So it's not about me.
Right.
And I feel like that brings out the best in everybody when you're doing it for the guy with the same color jersey.
Do you have to talk to him about what he likes compared to like Robbie and a year ago? Is it just?
I mean, a good snap.
Or is it more about just getting it to the holder and the holder's got to communicate to him?
That's the whole idea of it. Is like, all three of us, we want to be perfect in our job. If I do make a mistake, it's up to Mitch to minimize it, and then if Mitch makes a mistake, it's up to Jake to minimize it. So we all want to make each other's lives easier. So that's kind of just where it comes down to.
Cardinals upset Dallas. What do you take away from that?
I think the Cardinals were a team that people were kind of just casting to the side, because Kyler wasn't playing, this, that, and the other, new head coach. But, I mean, I think they've proved to everybody they can play. People clown on them a little bit for the Giants game, but then the very next week they came and showed out against, I think a lot of pundits had Dallas as either 1 or number 2 or number 3 in the league. So I think they've got something to prove, and they're proving it.
If you guys were robots, you could bring the same intensity every single week. But that's just human nature is just not the way it works. Of a 17-game schedule, how many times do you think a locker room can actually be at peak performance? And is there anything that you notice in the locker room, let's say pregame, where you're like, man, I just don't feel like we're quite at that level that we need to be? Or is it not a pregame locker room kind of vibe that you're looking for?
There's little things. Like I remember... It's funny because I think it's individual, whether you're everyone's locked in or not individually, and then it just becomes a group effort. So I don't know if you can really say week to week if it's like a locker room's up or down. I'm sure there's a little bit to it, but as far as this week goes, the Cardinals showed out, and so we're not going to be taking them lightly.
Okay. A buddy of mine has a kid, and his kid is a long snapper. And I think it might be small school in Arkansas, and I forget the name of the school. If you're talking directly to high school kids who are dreaming to be Taybor Pepper in 10 years, what did you do in high school? And we talked last year, and you were telling me about how you the light went on for you, and you started working on it at a young age. But what would you say to the young long snapper who dreams of the NFL? Should they pay a coach to show them the technique? Should they get with a guy like yourself who's doing it? What is the path to long snapping?
Yeah, I think as far as coaching goes, you should probably, if you are going to go with a guy who's like a guru or whatnot, I would say try just that one person for a while. Because same thing with kickers and stuff. If I've been around kickers who they'll see this guy this week, and then the next month they'll go see another guy. And it's this, that, and the other, and
it's like multiple swing coaches, like a golfer or something.
It's just like golf. So stick with the same person. If it's working, it's working. Don't mess it up. If you feel like you need to make a change, it should probably be a conversation with the person you're seeing, your parents, and then just general thoughts. But stick with one guy if you're going to do that, and then just block out all the noise, because I remember in 10th grade when I decided, I was like, hey, I want to do this in college. I told a few people, and my locker mate in 10th grade was like, you're not going to do anything with your life with long snapping, like verbatim. And
really?
So I always kept that with me. And it was funny, when I got my scholarship offer in high school, I was in a creative writing class with that same kid. We sat next to each other. And so I just, I didn't say anything, but that was just in my head the whole time.
That's so funny. And maybe in some ways he kind of motivated you to get here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For sure.
2 last ones on your teammates. Give me a guy in this room. There's a lot of great talent. Some of the NFL's best talents are in this room. Give me a teammate that just freaking amazes you, and you're just like, jeez, this guy is something else.
I might be a little bit biased, but Ross Dwelly and Charlie Warner, those are my
backup tight ends.
Yeah, but they're also my 2 guards on punt, and I feel like they're 2 of the best guards for punt protection in the NFL, as well as being guys who, I'm pretty sure they know the playbook as a fullback as well as being tight ends and stuff, and they're just both so tough and determined, and they come in and they don't complain and they work hard, and those are 2 guys that I really, really respect.
Last one. This team could go to the Super Bowl. Every guy in the room knows it. How much do you talk about it? Does Kyle talk about it? Do you guys talk about it? Or is it like, you know what, that's so far down the road. That's too macro for us. We need to be micro today. Or do you guys let each other talk about the long-term goal of the franchise?
I think it goes back and forth. Like coming into camp, we're all aware of what we did last year. We feel that we made upgrades. in most positions, and it's there, it's looming, but you have to take it week by week, and that's, I think, something that comes with experience. And I got here like week 4 of 2020, but a lot of these guys, George, Fred, Eric, have been with this franchise for a long time, and they've matured. So like, this is a team that has seen success, and then that 2020 season was disappointing with injuries and stuff. It just comes with the experience of making sure everybody's taking it day by day.
Yeah, good luck this season, man. Appreciate
it. Thank you.